All right, so let's continue. We're just behind schedule, but not that much. And the next presentation is a favorite of mine because my one pinball credit hasn't been lasting for more than 30 seconds, so I really suck at pinball. So if there are any like me in the audience, I think you're going to really enjoy this next presentation, which is about how not to suck at pinball. So let's give Peter Smets a really big applause.
Hey, good afternoon, Assembly. First question, who's here for the PlayStation 4 seminar? You missed it. Sorry. This is now a presentation on things with real-time graphics and no loading times. So welcome to pinball. So hi, introduction is in place. My name is Peter, or Frankie of the Royal Belgian Beer Squadron, Accession, and Smash Designs. For a living, I do boring things such as project management in IT, but I also play pinball. I have a blog about it, gamebunker.be, and I'm on Twitter as Pinball Frankie and C64 for your latest C64 demo party news with 3,000 followers. I like it. I also run WrestleMania, which is arcade games and pinball machines. I'm a revision organizer, and I broadcast at SceneSet and also here downstairs at AssemblyTV. So we have plenty of slides, so over 100. It's 119 on my screen, so let's go. First of all, to get you started on pinball machines, some history, because you have to know where things come from in order to know how they work and why they work. And people say, well, you can do it better. Why didn't you try this or that? No, because it works like that since the 1930s. Initially, it's also in Finnish. It's flipper or flipperit for pinball machines, and it's pinball in English. Why is that? It's historical, because the pinball machines we have here came only popular after the Second World War in the 1940s, 1950s. And then you had this little bat which knocked the ball up called the flipper, and no longer the pins. So that's how it goes, but it even goes back more into the 19th century. So go to your TARDIS or your DeLorean or whichever time machine you prefer. And we go back to the 1800s, where we have the Bagatelle games. What you have here is a small ball launcher and little metal pins, hence the name pinball. And you would count your points at the bottom where they would end up. You have versions with a spring or with a pool cue that you would shoot the balls up there and get your points. Now, this was fine until in the 1900s people invented the metal spring and they could build a table. And you have wiffle board. This is 1931. What you have here now is you have a coin slot where you put a quarter in or a dime or a cent back then, which was a lot of money. This is Depression era, so you wanted quick fun for no money, and this was it. You would shoot the ball here with a ball shooter, and depending on in which hole the ball would end up, you would get your points, but you would have to count them yourself. It's all manual. It's really hard to do when drunk. And of course, people would cheat, so they would slide the table to the left and slide them to the right in order to get more points. So people started, well, let's stop that. So they made the tilt mechanism, which is a term still in use today. And initially, it started out as purely mechanical, meaning the table is in the way, but over here, you have a little metal ball in a cup. And when you move the machine too hard, it will make an electrical contact, and you will lose the game. Now, you will still have to get all your points manually, but look at the ball. You have a plunger here. The ball would go up all this path, go down here, go all around, up here, into the horseshoe. This is 2,000 points. If you say, fuck it, I'm going to pull real hard, you get 300 points. Mind you, this is 1932. So that's almost 80 years of game design, which is in there today, with a tilt. It's designed by Harry Williams. If you know the pinball machines from the Williams company, as the same guy. today he's actually still alive. He's 150 years old and still getting credit. So with the tilt, we have now the modern tilt mechanism, again by Harry Williams, and mechanically it's a weight hanging from a string which will wobble left to right. It's like, look at, as you're a coder, it's a cosine curve. The momentum will push it left to right. And when it goes left to right, this metal rod will make contact with the outside and actually make an electrical contact, act like a switch, and tell the pinball machine's control hardware, hey, somebody's pushing around too much with me. Now, knowing how this works, when you push a machine really hard and really short, you will not create momentum. Therefore, you will not create a tilt or a tilt warning. This is something that you can abuse. You can set the sensitivity. If you lower this weight down, it will swing more or less. That is one of the difficulty factors how you can set the tilt. And also plus, because of the universal force of gravity, this automatically resets. The previous one with the metal ball, you would have to open the machine, take it out, put it back in the normal position, and it would take too much time. So this is in 1935, this came up, and machines still use this today. Without any mechanical change, it's exactly one-to-one the same. So abuse it, it's there. And you have pop bumpers, which are these little mechanical mushrooms, which when the ball touches them, it will get kicked away in any random direction. They started out in 1936 with 2 games called Bumper, what's in the name, and Bolo, where these are just things on a spring. Meaning that if the ball would hit them, the spring would catch the energy and throw it back out in another direction. There is no mechanical force added here. So it's completely passive. And what's also good to see here is that at the meantime we get the first, not really electronic, but mechanical score displays. You no longer have to add up your own score. The machine does this for you by, it has a big wheel of numbers, and it advances one step at a time, giving you a higher score. This is, by the way, a very dangerous ledge to fall down. If anybody has a seminar after me, watch out. What's also cool that now when you play pinball, when you start the ball, you get the ball automatically in the shooter lane. This second plunger is a ball lifter. You would push it in, and then you would get the ball into the shooter lane. So we're still talking pinball here because this machine is missing one thing. That's flippers. They simply did not exist yet in 1937. Flippers came around in 1947 on a game called Humpty Dumpty. And as you can see here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flippers on the playfield. Also, they're listed the other way around. They're not listed inward, they are listed outward. You would have 2 flipper buttons on the side of the machine, but if you pushed either one of them, all 6 of them would go up. Now, still, people thought this was so way cool, everybody wanted them, and all the other pinballs became obsolete the second this machine came out in 1947. This is also post-war. These are the machines which came back to Europe as Americana, and everything American back then was cool. You had the cars, you had the music, you also had the pinball machines, which over here were called flippers, flipper, flipperit, whatever you want. So the classic flippers, as we know them today, are from 1950. So for 3 years long, every game had flippers everywhere. Left, right, up, down, direction, left, direction, right. Rotate, clockwise, counterclockwise, whatever you want. But the first game with the standard design for the flippers as we know them today is 1950 on Spot Bowler. The in-lane, out-lane, where you would have the flipper come back to, the ball come back to the flipper, would be added later. Now, as we said, we had passive pop bumpers in the 1930s. In 1948, some guy thought, again, Harry Williams, What about if we made a switch and add some power to it so the ball could be kicked back harder? And that's what's done in Rainbow. There's one of them. It's expensive, saving money, putting one of the pop bumpers here. And that would actually, when you came in the neighborhood of it, it would kick back. Now, these are not the pop bumpers or the thumper bumpers or whatever they call them for marketing reasons. As you know them today, these would appear only in 1964, but it's a start. Now, what else in a pinball machine, except for flippers and bumpers and in-lanes, out-lanes, yes, it's going to be interactive, is missing? Does anybody wants to shout me the answer? Lights are there. No. It's the drop target. It's the little plastic you hit with the ball. When you hit it, it goes under the play field and it gives you points, or you can score something. Let's put this over here. Now, this is 1962 in Vagabond, and they had exactly one. It's over here inside the play field. It was new technology, very expensive, again with a coil and a mechanism. So they didn't really mass produce it, but once they knew that the technology worked, you would have drop targets all over your pinball machines, everywhere, all the time, every time. This is the final version as it exists today. You would have targets which would disappear under the playfield since the 1950s, but only in 1962 people would say, okay, this is the final version. You hit it, there's an electromechanical coil that kicks it back up and gives you a point. Now, don't forget, this is all purely mechanical. Why pinball machines are so big is you have the back box with the score wheels, which actually turn. You need a lot of room, also for the switches and the cables and the contact. In the bottom box, which today is empty, there would be your computer, which is a lot of wires and a lot of switches. If you would hit a contact, a switch would activate, a magnet would pull a switch closed, and you would get points, or a light would go on, and you could make simple and or registers that way. This is all mechanical. There is no RAM, no ROM, no CPU, no nothing. If you want to go into the digital age, we are in 1977, which is freedom. It's not the first pinball machine to use a CPU and a ROM and a RAM, but it's the first one which is available on the global market. Meaning that back then you would have two versions, mechanical and electronic, because mechanical machines were known technology, people knew them, they could maintain them. Electronics were new. How the fuck does this computer thing work? It has chips, I cannot solder a big wire on it to make it work, help me. So people could still choose. So we have computers in 1977. And if we wanted graphics, we're at 1991, which is roughly 15 years later. Data East was the first one with Checkpoint, and if you look at the size of the display, it's pretty small. It's a half height, where Williams, same company from Harry Williams, started with displays on Terminator 2, although Gilligan's Island, another game, was first to market. Data East then switched from a small display to a big display in 1992. Now, this is single color, four shades of orange, red, whatever you want. So there was an experiment at Williams to put a TV screen on top of the pinball, and it would reflect into the glass with moving characters and animation and lots of better sound, which was Pinball 2000 in 1999. Sadly, only 2 games of this hardware level were made, Revenge from Mars and Star Wars Episode 1. And then Williams quit the pinball business. Why? Because they could make lots of more money with jackpots. And we are still today stuck with the LCD screens or the plasma displays in single color in most pinball machines. Until, and this is, yes, it's not a joke, it's 2013, there is finally a company that puts LCD screens in the back box of a pinball machine. And this is Jersey Jack Pinball. It's a side project of an American company. They have licensed The Wizard of Oz right now. I've played the game. It's not bad. It's not finished yet. They have big dreams. I really hope for them that they succeed. But it's kind of a wait and see. So what they did here is, inside the box here, you have a big metal rail where you have a default Pentium-ish computer with a new board for the input, the outputs. It will run all from a compact flash card. You can update it through USB. So it's an update to today's technology, which is good. Operating system is something Linux-ish, but when the machine boots, they really quickly hide the screen from any show that they are. So these are overview of the short history. Now, there are, of course, more firsts. First multi-ball, the first spinners, the first two-player game, first multi-level game, the first kickback, the first wizard mode. They all exist. I didn't go in there. So we now come to the not sucking part, which is we need to explain some naming conventions that I will mention to you. As said, we have the flippers at the bottom, the drain is in the middle, and you have in lanes and out lanes. The left in lane and the right in lane will always feed back to the flipper without a problem. The out lane, you will lose your ball unless you use illegal moves, to which we will get in the end. And the lane guide is a little metal wire that controls the ball. Now, in order, and this is the first things first, is if you say, I'm playing a pinball machine, I don't know what to do. Well, the machine helps you, you have to read the rules. In every machine, there is, in the lower left corner, is a small paper. This will list you, here are the multi-balls, here are the jackpots, these are the modes you can finish. Take your time to read it. You will know what to do and not just aimlessly keep the ball in play and start hitting stuff, not getting anywhere. You might get a long play time, you might shoot the ball around for 10 minutes, but you will actually achieve nothing. Second thing you have to forget is the duo flip. It's first players, they push the two buttons like a penguin together all the time, and this is not good. You have to, this is the first non-skill you have to forget. Thirdly, don't do nothing. Pinball is a game of skill. You are in control of the machine. You control the ball. So just having the ball bouncing around aimlessly and waiting for it to go into a drain or in the out lane is not what you want. You are in control. You are the master of the universe. You have the power of Grayskull. You control the ball. So to do that, you have your ball control skills, meaning you can aim, you can push, you can cradle, you can bounce pass, roll pass, hit pass, you can catch, you can drop, you can slap stiff, and you can do Zen. You can be Zen. And to add this in examples, I've used pictures from the Addams family, which is the most produced pinball machine ever, 20,000 copies plus 1,000 in a special edition. And it also has the hottest picture of Nina Ricci on the poster, if you really like it. So the essential stuff, the essential skills that you must have while playing pinball is the cradle. This is just stopping the ball. Hold your flipper up and let it rest. If something went totally wrong and the ball was everywhere and you're in total panic, catch it, stop the ball, keep the button pressed, take 5, look at what can I do next, what to do. There is no time penalty, there is no time limit. Just take your time and go for it. And when you do that, you can aim. The further the ball will roll down the flipper, the more to the left or to the right it will end up. Speed is also important, meaning that a faster ball will go further to the right at a faster speed than at a slower speed. Meaning that if you look at the Addams family, you have a few options. You can go from up here into the chair, from a little bit more further down the flipper, you can hit the ramp. 3/4 down, you can go all around the play field, or at the end, if you're really crazy, you can go for the swamp. The up push is that you have these really nasty triangles which will kick the ball around, and you will see that bit by bit it goes higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, and it will end up in an out lane, which of course you do not want. So it's pure physics. It's canceling out the energy. At the right time, you will have to discover where that is. push the machine up so that the power of the kick will be cancelled out and the ball will roll down and you can control it again into a cradle. If I am not making sense, you'll find it out. So the low risk maneuvers now, because there is always some risk, but these are pretty easy to do and easy to learn as well, is the bounce pass. This is when the ball comes down to your flipper, don't push a button, don't flip, but your flipper is coated with rubber, which is by default bouncy. When the ball comes down, go to your machine. At the moment it touches the machine, give a little push up and the ball will bounce with high speed on the flipper and at the other side, come to a almost complete standstill. You can cradle it, take your time, and go from there. In AssemblyTV, most known for this is, the ball will come out of the chair. At the flipper, don't do anything, just push up a little bit. It will jump over to the other side, put this flipper up, and the ball will come to a complete stop. You can take your time, take a sip of your beer, or from your Sprite, which is what I'm going to do now, and continue with your game. Now, if the ball comes down in lane, you can hold your flipper up, and because of the speed of the flipper, the ball will hopefully make the evil hole of doom and not drain, and end up at the other side where you can again cradle it. Come to a pause, look for your next shot, and continue the game. In AssemblyTV, this is best practice when it comes down the ramp at high speed, stops here, put up the flipper, pass it to the other side, and cradle it again. Now, this might be well, but suggest that you have a cradle. And it's on the wrong side. What do? You can do a post pass. You have a ball cradled, you drop the flipper for a quarter second, you push it again, the ball will be pushed against the rubber of the slingshot and jump over to the other side, so you can cradle it again. Try to practice. Go for the ball, left, right, left, right, left, right, until you get the hang of it. Now, not every machine has the same timing for this. A Williams will be different than a Data East, will be different than a Sega, will be different than a Stern machine, which are all different vendors. But you can find it out and get used to the timing, and then you can move the ball from one side to the other, so you can make your shot to whatever you want. Now, speaking of timing, that's everything. These are quite low risk. Now, timing, you need to, as some experience, you can do a live catch, which is, ball comes down at 5 million kilometers an hour. At the same time, the ball will touch your flipper. You flip it up. Both momentums will, at the point of impact, cancel each other out. Your ball will stop, roll down, because you're keeping the flipper button pressed, and you end up in a cradle. AssemblyTV, best example, coming out of the swamp where the ball can come out, put the right flipper up, the ball will bounce up and will bounce off here and roll down the slingshot into a cradle, and you can go for the ramp, the chair, you can go for the orbit, or you can go for the ting lock over here. Just take your time and remember to stop the ball whenever possible. A drop stop is the opposite, meaning that the ball comes racing down, you have the flipper up, at the moment they touch, you release it. Again, momentum is cancelled out, but you will not cradle. The ball will roll down your flipper, and you have to quickly aim for something else. You cannot keep it. So preferably use the live catch and not the drop stop, but sometimes you have no choice. Now, if there is no option to do a drop stop or a live catch, you can slap save. Meaning that you have to push. I said don't do a flip in the beginning, second or fourth slide. This is why. When the ball is coming down, again at 5 kilometers an hour, you push up one flipper, and just with the top of the flipper, you touch the ball a little bit so it has another path. And with the second flipper, it goes up a microsecond later, you will kick it out into the play field wherever it ends up. You are not aiming, you are saving. You are keeping the ball in play and hoping it will end up in a good place where you can continue. And then we come to nudging, which is pushing the machine around. When you push a machine, you're standing like this, don't use your hips. Your energy will go nowhere. You're like doing a silly dance. That won't work. You have to push with your shoulders. I am a robot. Whatever. So that's the energy. Your hands are on the metal bar of the machine. You can push it left, right, or up. When you see the ball going to the side, into the out lane, you can push the machine a little bit to the opposite direction. It will hit the metal or the rubber or the outside, go back into the center zone. It's like a weather forecast, like clouds over Helsinki today. And you can try to save it. And of course, most importantly, keep it in play. This is a technique you will have to learn. You can nudge to the side, you can nudge up. Experience will teach you this. Only I can say is play as many games as you can. You will get the hang of it. In the beginning, you will suck, but you will suck less and less and less each game that you try. And as I said, in sometimes don't do nothing. Sometimes you have to do nothing. It's the Zen maneuver, or the chill. Some flippers in the middle of the flippers have a little rubber post where the ball will bounce back if it's hit it. It's just doing nothing, maybe give a little push for extra energy, and that's it. Now, if you would do that on AssemblyTV, you would have a problem. For the simple reason that there is no middle post there. So always watch which game you're playing before you trust for the Zen maneuver. But we can now combine these things. All the moves that we have just looked at and hopefully learned. So, imagine, ball comes out of this hole. You do a live catch. Your ball is on the flipper. You can aim it up to the ramp. It will go all the way around at 5 million kilometers an hour, come down here, put the flipper up, perform a roll pass. The ball will come to a cradle, perfect stop, take a couple of seconds of time, and then you can aim into the chair. And once you know that, you can work the rule set. Again, this is getting boring, but you have to read the rules. Again, you need to know what to go for. Now you have the skills to keep the ball in play, then you need to apply them. So on AssemblyTV, you can pick your game. Oh, here we are. Okay, good. Meaning that you can either go for the multi-balls and the jackpots, which are activated over here at the bookcase. You have to spell some letters. It will open, put the ball in, or you can play for the mini games, the modes. They're various. It's hitting as many targets as you can. It's hitting something different, but you have to choose. Do I go for the mini games? Do I go for the multi-balls? This is in the rules. It'll make read the rules and make a selection on where to go, on what to play. Now, I always make a selection on what to play, and I get often the feedback, well, yeah, but everything is blinking. What do I do? Well, blinking lights have 3 settings. Off means there's nothing here. When they're blinking, it says, ooh, ooh, pick me. I might have something of value. You don't know what, but it's often labeled on the blinking light. And when it's on, it means, well, you have it. In the dimension over here on AssemblyTV, it's exactly like that. When it's off, you don't have it. When it's blinking, it will be the next one you get when you hit the chair or the swamp. When it's on, you already have it. Now, with that, games often have a skill shot, meaning that when I see novice players play pinball, they shoot the ball into the game as fast as possible and hope for the best. Don't do that. Most games have a skill shot, meaning that with the right amount of force, you can get a special target, a special location, you can get extra points, you can get bonus multiplier, you can get many other awards. And always look for it where it is. Often the game will announce it on the screen as well, on the display. In AssemblyTV itself, the skill shot is at the top here where a thing comes in. If you can drop the ball exactly in that spot, you will get points. When ball lock is active, you will lock a ball, etc. Now, this is a skill shot. Also, every game has different rules. You must learn through the skill shot, through the rule sheet, which one they are. They will differ and they will name the locations for you to shoot for. When we look at it at AssemblyTV, there is a line of lights here, which are the thing lights. And okay, how do you collect them? Well, here's a third flipper on the upper playfield. When you hit the ramp over here, you will light one letter of thing, T-H-A-N-G. If you manage to do this after, with the flipper aiming through the orbit, going around, and then up the ramp, you will light a star. When you have thing complete and 0, 1, or 2 stars, here's a light that will go on. It will be blinking, meaning there is something to get here. You can shoot for that, and you will get the thing award. Second one in AssemblyTV is the 5-time swamp. There's a little flipper over here. When the ball is in this area, in the pop bumpers, or rolling down, with this flipper, you can shoot across the playfield into the swamp, and then you will also get a minimum 5 million of your graveyard award, which you can build using other targets, which you will have to find out for yourself. Now, with that, there are hidden awards. It's a result of combinations that you can do, but are not advertised on the rule sheet. In AssemblyTV, we have something called the 4-way combo, which is really good for your ego when you try to do it. You can go up the ramp, over here, into the ramp here area, shoot through the orbit, daisy, hit up the left ramp, you will end up at this flipper, go into the swamp, and that's your 4-way combo. Try it, it's fun. So this exactly means what flow is. This is flow, meaning that you can take shot after shot after shot, going there and keeping the ball in play, moving as long as you can. Looking at how the internet rates pinball machines, this is a list from the Internet Pinball database. You have flow games, which are start with next generation, meaning that everything starts from the flippers, and one way or the other, your ball will always come back nicely to the flippers and keep it going. This is Star Trek Next Generation. Theater of Magic, other game, again, you go up the ramps, and it will always spoon feed down, allowing you to create a nice flow. Same for Monster Bash, and the best example I could find is Medieval Madness. You have 2 ramps, you will go around, you can hit the next one, you will go around, you can hit the next one, you can go around, you can hit the next one, and you can hit the castle force like a jackpot or a multi-ball. That's flow, keeping the ball in play as long as you can. But diversing a bit, there are also things called Easter eggs, which are shots you can make, but not really intended to, but it can end up there by accident. Many games see this and give you extra bonuses. There's a thing called the dirty pool. Normally, this bookcase opens, you can shoot in there. If you get the ball in there without the bookcase open, it will give you the dirty pool, which is a quote from the movie, and it's kind of stuck. You will lock a ball, you will get some points, and it's good for your ego. Now, not only AssemblyTV has this, also Attack from Mars has exactly the same. When you shoot the ball, when you have a ball in here behind the lifting target bridge doing multi-ball, hit the bridge, it will hit the ball into the target, and you will also get a dirty pool. Same thing for Indiana Jones. Hit a target here, hit a target there, dirty pool. This is by design possible in this game. They actually created it. Now, as these are the hardware multi-balls, you also have software multi-balls. You have something called midnight multi-ball, where you have a multi-ball hidden in the software. At midnight, you have hidden cows in the software. Look for them, download the presentation, and get the URL. Greetings and birthday wishes, and I think Star Trek even has a hidden breakout game if you push the right combination of buttons left and right on the game. And if you say, I don't feel like locking balls, you have sneaky locks, which is in Circus Voltaire. Go up the ramp, don't go all the way, but have the ball roll down over here. You will have a sneaky lock, and you will have a ball lock, and you can start your multi-ball. Same thing goes in for Theater of Magic. Behind here is a hole. If you can drop the ball in, you will lock a ball, which is good, because that's what you want. And with that, you have your basic rule set done. But of course, you can abuse the system. In older machines, you can steal multi-balls, meaning that player 1 locks 2 balls. You are player 2. You only have to lock 1 ball to get multi-ball started. Look for it, use it, abuse it as much as you can, because it's less work for you. If you get this on AssemblyTV and somebody steals your locked balls, you can easily drop them back into the locks at location 1 and location 2, by the way. With that, you can aim by not aiming, meaning that on Funhouse, your ball is on this flipper. You want to go there. There is no direct line. It's not possible. So use a target bank on this side, kick the ball off. It will go into the mirror to get whatever points and object you want. Now, as I said, there is a warning, meaning that don't shoot everything. You also have to know what to shoot. You have to know what not to shoot. In AssemblyTV, it's lethal to shoot for the chair from the right flipper. If you miss it, your ball will be gone. The correct way to do it from the left one and go up there. If your ball is here, don't panic. Use a bounce pass that you click the ball from here to there and go up. And you can get your ball into the chair and start one of the modes over here in the mansion. On Whitewater, you have something similar, meaning that there are 2 targets here to lock balls. That's what you want. It's for your multi-ball. If you hit them directly, I guarantee you the ball will fly back and you're out and it's gone. What you need to do is you hit next to the target, hit it with the edge of your ball so it will make a contact and go into the ball lock. If you miss, no worries. In Whitewater, the ball will go up here, come down either from the right or from the left, and you can try again. There is no panic. And to mention a couple illegalities, small warning, don't ever do this on a game which is not yours. People will kick you out of their game room, of their bar when you do this. So, first of all, for completion's sake, is the bang back, meaning that if your ball goes down the out lane, put up the flipper, take the machine, give it a good kick or a shove, and when you're lucky, the ball will hit the metal over here and the ball will go back into play. Some games actually reward this. Now, looking at the Zen maneuver at AssemblyTV, which was totally failed, you remember this. The ball would go down, there is no little troop over here to get the ball back into play, so what do? You can do something called a chardonneke, which is from a friend of mine, Vincent Chardon. You take the machine and you really shove it underneath the ball so that it will hit one of the flippers, bounce up into play, and if you do it hard enough and fast enough, remember that the tilt mechanism is a plumb bob, it's a rate, it's physics. If you do it hard enough, it will not move, it will not register, and you get away with it. Now, with all of this, you have to remember one thing, that you have to behave playing games. Now, they're machines, they're expensive, they're probably older than you. Behave like it. Don't sit on them, don't put drinks on them, don't shake them too much, don't piss on them, don't puke underneath them. And I cut out 2 other profanity slides underneath. but saying that, okay, I want to learn pinball and I want it now, you can get involved. You have a news group, you have, for Finnish people, from my friend Ari, good website. You have IFPA Pinball, you have PAPA, which is the professional and amateur association. If you want to find a pinball machine, you can go to findthepinball.com, pin site. In the US, go to Arcade. In Finland, go to flipperit.net, which is run by my friend Teemu in Kouvola. And just to give you a short dump of flipperit.net, say, I want to play, where can I find these machines? I want to practice, I want to rule, I want to take part in competitions, I want not to suck, you can practice. This is a short list from Helsinki. This is half the page. These are the known machines in Helsinki. If you say, well, Helsinki is too far, I'm from Tampere. Well, shut up, there are plenty of machines in Tampere where you can play. If you say, I'm in Turku, that's no problem, you can go to Turku and play over there. And when you're in Kouvola, check this side out. I cannot pronounce it, it's in Finnish. But go there. It's an old accordion factory. They have a nice game room. They are open to visitors. I'm going there tomorrow, taking a train. And if you say, well, okay, I can get the big machines. I want the really short stuff. You can get a pinball arcade game, which is on every mobile platform. It's on PlayStation. It's on mobile PS Vita. If you have a Kindle, you have Xbox Max. It's all there. You can play on the go as well. And because we're running out of time, quickly, any questions? Raise your hand and please come forward. Come on, in front here.
At least on PlayStation there's this. Oh. So just a comment, there's Zen Pinball on PlayStation 3, and that's, at least my opinion, is very much better than that.
I have Zen Pinball on my Android tablet, and I like Pinball Arcade because it's the old games.
Yeah, okay.
Meaning that Zen Pinball is cool, but it's too much. There is too much shiny stuff, and sometimes it's too complicated.
Okay, just the physics of it, for me, it felt just better, I don't know.
It's, well, I don't think, but that's opposite feelings about it. I don't like Zen Pinball, you do. It's a free world.
Yeah. And also there's, I don't know, there's this extra ball in Ruoholahti, which I think
you mean in southern Helsinki?
Huh?
The extra ball pelihalli?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah,
it's
good.
Nice. You should all go. It's take tram number 9 and you're there. Okay, any more questions? All right, I'm available after the seminar. We have to move on. Thank you for attending and see you next year.